Welcome to Health Hits Experience, the teen magazine for silver screen queens. I almost had it. I'm the librarian, and with me are 2 subscriptions. Welcome to the show. We're back after a week of not being here. Thank you for your patience. We experienced the apocalypse over here, and we definitely were able to make it out of our homes today. So that was a welcome change.
It's okay. It's thawing out now.
It's thawing out, and now it'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So we're fine. We like being here for you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I am told there are some new people tuning in today. So hello. Welcome to the show. I'm happy to explain what's going on. Send me a DM and I'll catch you up. I'll get you where we're at. Speaking of catching us up, let's just get rocking and rolling, I think.
Yeah.
Here we go. The warring factions of the Clock Underground have taken to underhanded tactics in an effort to acquire the almost unattainable prize spider eggs located at the top of the grandfather clock. Myra, the leader of the Copper Fangs, uses the fairy only known as bait to lure more kind-hearted fairies and impressing them into the gang. On top of all of this, Tu has also been coerced through the cruel use of sugar and an altered mental state. He heads off to try to fulfill Myra's request, hoping to get back his freedom and his bag. It's difficult to navigate the Clock Underground with all the turns and unfamiliar areas, so it is with great luck that Tu stumbles upon Rizzo, a slightly seedy-looking mouse who puts on airs of being better off than he is, clad in fashionable but threadbare clothes. With the promise of payment after Tu reunites with his bag, Rizzo takes Tu on a tour of the city with the ultimate goal of gaining access to the tower of the grandfather clock itself. During the tour, the 2 of them manage to shake the Copper Fangs trailing Tu, to great interest to Rizzo. They climb up into the tower, narrowly avoiding the members of Pine's staff who are guarding the main entry. Tu manages to steal a handful of items for Rizzo in order to appease the mouse and venture on to the upper level. This thoroughly impresses the con artist, with visions of cheese wheels dancing in his head. Tu then causes a great distraction, allowing them to scurry upwards. They stumble into the hovels of the tower, with 2 notable hovels standing out to them. A hovel with a string maze designed to keep fairies from going up further, and a hovel with a lint roller sheet designed to keep fairies from going up further. The unlikely duo decides to risk the string maze. However, in the process, the fairy living in the hovel wants to know what they are up to. Thinking fast, Rizzo uses his new ID pin to act as Pine's staff and perform a surprise inspection. Although there is nothing interesting in the fairy's hovel, it does reveal an easy path for Rizzo and Tu to climb up the gears, turning up above them. Tu tries to create an easy path for them, but stumbles on his way, and Rizzo falls between some gears. Rizzo sends Tu on his way. You have to go on ahead and complete your mission so you can get back your bag and your grappling hook, and then you and I are going to score the biggest wheel of cheese you've ever imagined. A small blue fairy stands at the top of the grandfather clock as the sound of a rather large spider creeps behind him. I'm going to try to set the stage here.
Whew.
So let's plop us right back in, and see what we are up to today. So this is where we find ourselves. We are inside of the clock. We're all the way at the very tippy top. Mm-hmm. Tu, you are Candy Cross faded. That has not gone away. We did take away your slightly singed.
Yeah.
Because that's over. And we left you where you heard the sound behind you. What is Tu doing?
Okay, well, Tu is first going to try to look around because every so often he turns and sees a dancing cheese wheel.
Okay, yeah.
So he's trying to stay focused on the fact, like, okay, there's a spider here.
Yeah.
And trying to at least get a visual on where the spider is and hopefully actually see the actual spider.
Yes. Good question. Okay. So
it's fine.
I'm going to put some aspects on the scene here that are relevant. Wow, this is really
like, wow,
really intense.
What's happening with
I
the
feel
clock?
like we need maybe perhaps we need to be more tense rather than what's happening here. I love these sounds. Don't get me wrong. Let's try this one. I don't think any of the rest of these are relevant at the moment, but I do think I'm gonna put Queenie's aspect up, which is Queen of the Clock.
Okay.
I am also gonna say, you know what? Let's say that's better music. Whee! Okay. I'm gonna say also that there's an aspect on this scene. Let me check. I think we talked about what time of day it was, which I think it was still nighttime.
It was nighttime because
The moon
moonlight
was coming
shining
through.
in.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But let me just see what that means in relation to what we're doing here. But I'm going to put, let's do, I'm trying to think of something fun. Because basically I want the scene aspect to be dark, but like, you know, single light of moonbeam. We're gonna say there's a situational aspect called moonbeam.
Okay.
With the implication that it's like darkened around there. So that's a scene aspect there.
Having like a bit of light,
Yes.
and then the rest pitch black is so much worse than it just being dark because you can't adjust to it as well then.
Yeah, but it gives enough of like a light source that the like if you do track the spider, you can see like off the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And imagine that, but large.
Imagine that, but oh.
Oh, why don't we just do a notice against Queenie's stealth? I
Okay.
think that makes the most sense. I may need to borrow somebody's dice here.
It's just one.
It's a 1.
Yeah, I got 2 negatives and 2 positives.
Okay.
Getting very, very neutral here.
Yeah. Thank you. I can go steal somebody else's dice if you need
No.
need to not. Okay. So that's nothing. That's nothing. So that's a 2. So that's still a success.
No. Can hear, but
Yeah.
not see.
Yeah.
Great.
You know. So you're standing in this dark
Okay.
area. I mean, you're standing in. It's a gorgeous tower. The hands of the clock are 10 times bigger than you, and the numbers are so clear but backwards, like, you know, and the moonlight is shining through, and if you were to go up to it, you could look down and you could like see out into Diction, and really at that level it's really the Riverfell Library, because you're not seeing any of the expanded areas and you're just seeing
Just
like
the library.
the stacks as they exist around. So it's beautiful.
I honestly think that you would be slightly distracted by that and get
Sure.
to see everything.
You can see well, not everything.
Well,
you can see everything from the column
Yeah, it's
outward,
like you get to see this.
which I think is mostly Cirque, Imagination, and some of Non.
Okay.
It would be, I think, difficult to see a ton of Non.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of Cirque because it's facing out towards the entrance of the library, and then Imagination, which Imagination has some stacks. Imagination in the Riverfell Library is the children's section, so it's like shorter shelves, so the kids can like pull things off of it.
All the bright colors over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So that's kind of like, but we'll say there's 3 faces.
Okay.
We'll say there's 3 faces, just so that it's like, it's almost all the way around, but it's flat up against the column. So yeah,
Gotcha.
so you could go off to the side and you could see more of Imagination, you can see more of Non, and like you could see kind of more of things. So yeah, so if you wanted to like,
I know
Look
there's
around.
this giant spider somewhere back there, but holy shit, this view is amazing.
this view is great. It's a great view.
Oh, yeah, just gonna like go around, keeping in mind like there is still, but not trying to mess with it straight away.
Yeah.
But is all going to start also looking to see if he can see like any mounds? I know you said there was like web.
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
there's web everywhere.
Okay.
There is, I don't know how familiar you are with like the nuance of spider webs. But if you were, like, you would know that there's like layers of like different ages of spider webs. So like old, brittle, crumbling apart, newer, like, so the spider's been in here for a while.
Okay.
But I don't know if you know this. It would just be like layers and layers and layers of spider web to the point where like you get only 4 clear paths to where you need to go. Like it's
Great.
it's like if you walk through one of those jungle gyms they make for kids where it's like the netting everywhere. Like here's a path that you can go on. And then you can like put your hand up on the glass and like look out and see all of Diction, and this is really cool. This is so neat. And then you have to turn around and go back the way you came.
Yep. Okay. All right. Does take a moment looks at everything, because getting to see from a bird's eye view. I don't know if they flying fairies eyes.
No, fairies can't fly up this high. You are higher than most fairies go up.
Yeah.
Because even the fairies that do climb or go up higher, they don't fly all the way to the top of the stacks.
No,
Now,
that's true.
it's possible there are fairies up there, but no one would know. Because it's certainly not interacting with the rest of them. But flying fairies don't tend to go up very high. Everything usually happens down low. Everything usually happens down, under, in, around. If it's inside of something that's a little higher, it's enclosed, it's encased. So it's not a lot of fairies go up high. And so you're
Okay.
enclosed,
Yeah,
so you're
oh,
not
yeah.
like flying up or standing up on something like this. You're not getting altitude sickness.
No, 2 is like pressed up.
It's like you're at the top of like the Empire State Building versus if you were climbing Mount Everest,
Yeah.
right? Like you don't have altitude sickness. You're like, but it's really cool. It's really neat.
Okay. All right. To stares at it for a little bit longer. Out of curiosity, is there anything at all that he can see going on?
Oh, sure.
Anywhere?
Let's just roll like I would
So
say.
fucking
Well, okay.
distracted.
This could be notice or investigation depending on what you're trying to do here.
Just looking like around, not trying to look at anything in
Anything in
particular.
particular? I'm
No.
then just roll me in. Let's find, because I don't think, because if you're not trying to find anything in particular, I'm not going to send a challenge level for you.
No, it's just trying to look around.
But I'm curious, like,
That is a 1+.
so a 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a fair. So a fair, I think, is you're going to notice the general aspect of it. I think you're going to see that there are, the more you look at it, the more you can see there is a reason to the webbing and the way it's more congregated in this area and less, less webs in this area. So I think there's a reason you can kind of start to see. You're not seeing like nuance. You're not looking down and being like, this speck of dirt has been here for 14 years. Like you're not really looking that closely. But I think you can kind of make some general assumptions
Okay.
about the area
Gotcha.
at this point.
All right. So there are 4 different paths.
From like where you entered.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll say there's 4 main accessible paths. 3 of them go directly to the faces.
The faces.
And one of them goes like adjacent to a face.
Okay.
Caddy, go into a corner.
Okay. Oh, what do I hear? Do I hear the spider nearby?
I am going to invoke or compel, excuse me. I want to use the proper terminology here. I am going to compel your candy crossbody.
Yeah.
You can refuse it if
Okay.
you would like to. That what you hear isn't real.
That's fair. That's
Okay.
more than fair.
Okay, feel free to take your fate point.
I'll take a whole pile of fate points. Yeah. Where did you get these? Oh,
you got to use these at some point.
I've used some of them.
I would say that normally your very large and intuitive ears would pick up smaller sounds,
Yeah.
subtle sounds. My guess would be it was a case of survival for you for a while, of being able to hear when somebody's coming, or if somebody's moving very quickly behind you, or if somebody means you harm. You kind of can start to make guesses of things. 2 also ventures outside of the library sometimes, so you would have an ear for larger beings. You would have an ear for things that aren't fairies. So normally, all of this would have helped you. All of this would have given you a Doppler effect of like knowing where Queenie is in the space.
But
I think in this particular instance, you have no spatial like understanding based off of sound.
okay.
You're having a hard time
Yeah.
figuring out where things are, and maybe the cheese wheel starts doing a ditty.
Gave it tap shoes. Okay.
Try this cheese. Wow, I'm so tasty. I'm so tasty. I'm so tasty. My type of cheese is a mozzarella.
Just shaking his head and be like, why? Why cheese? Why cheese?
Rizzo said I wanted me. I am so desirable.
Okay, she was gonna like clamp his ears closed for a moment
Sure.
and then just be like looking around. Oh boy. Reaches for his bag again and be like, no bag.
No bag.
But
Mm-hmm.
he has exactly one thing that he didn't give to Rizzo.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. It's the tiny spoon.
Okay, yeah.
And it's not much, but he's gonna look at the paths, and of them, there's only one that doesn't go to the windows. He's going to throw it as far in the opposite direction, so the opposite corner of that as possible.
I love this. Let's have you create the advantage distracted.
Okay.
And then that way you can kind of use that later if you need to. You have plenty of fate points to invoke things. So I think now would be the time to create some aspects so that we can use them.
All right.
Because I put a lot of
fantastic,
aspects
yeah.
on the scene, and a lot of them I don't feel like you want. So let's put something you want on here.
Well, I mean,
You're going to create the advantage. You're going to roll your... Honestly, my personal preference is this just being like a physique roll of just like how you throw it.
okay.
Because I don't think we had this conversation about deceive. This is not.
I don't think I could pass this off.
No,
one up.
but
as
you're just
deceive.
chucking it. So I
Yeah.
think like we're creating the advantage of distracted. You just need to roll that at. I'm gonna give you a 2 to roll it against a 2 because that feels like you can chuck a spoon. You're crossfaded. You're not that crossfaded. Can you not chuck a spoon? 2.
Could I argue that I could use leap into action to add a +2 to it?
I'll say that whatever happens, it leaves your hand. You see it leave it too late, the wrong arc,
No.
and you just grab it midair and chuck it again.
Okay. I'll do that.
My God. 2, I didn't realize the sugar would fuck you up this much.
He's been going for a while now, and he's still got fucked up ribs too.
Yeah, that's true.
He's real fucked up right now.
Maybe the sugar makes your ribs feel better.
As I was thinking, I was like, not necessarily that he doesn't feel better, just doesn't perceive it because everything else is going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Auditory hallucinations. You're like, can't think about the ribs right now.
Visual auditory hallucination. The ribs are fine. I need to deal with the fact that this cheese wheel's singing and tap dancing right now, and I know it's not real, but you can smell it.
Oh God, that
Smells like mustard.
awful. Not even a mozzarella like he said he was. Oh, liar! You liar! You're a different type of cheese. Okay, yeah. Distracted is on the table now.
Okay.
Go to the corner.
Pulls the hood over even closer, just like the hood is going to help me block everything out.
The hood is going to protect
And
me.
darts over, but tries to also hit. Like with the rhythmic tries to stay with that.
Rhythmic? Where's rhythmic? This
Rhythmic's
one?
there, yeah.
Rhythmic is the gears. So
Okay.
the gears are a level below you. So we might come back to it.
Gotcha.
That's why I left it on the board.
Okay.
No, I mean, you could argue that the hands, but I don't think that there's a second hand. There's
No,
a minute
probably
hand, so
not.
it's like there's not really a rhythmic. I do think maybe as you're darting towards this corner, the hand moves a minute and it goes thunk, and you like feel it in your bones. Maybe like have you ever seen a cat when there's a sound that like makes it like jump, not puff up,
Okay.
but just like jump at it when there's like a rhythmic sound to it, like that. I'm
Yeah.
imagining too, like not even voluntarily, just kind of like hopping.
But he goes to it and at least tries to visually look for the spider again. Like, I hope that it distracted. I didn't check.
I didn't check. I mean, I think that Queenie would have gone and checked it out. I don't think that. I see no reason that she wouldn't have been like, what's that? I have described her akin to, like, she's a spider, so she's venomous and protective, but also I've described her akin to kind of like a deer a little bit, and like, she's had stare downs, like if you move first, I'm bolting kind of deal, but maybe I'm bolting at you. So just very reactive is what I've described her as. So I feel like in this particular instance, I don't think she would go and like check it out like on the ground, but I do think she'd like, huh? That's the thing that made the noise. So absolutely, I do think the spider is in that general area.
Okay, cool. Going to continue down this path and see what is down this path.
Yeah, it's dark in this corner because the moonbeam is not coming into a corner.
Makes sense.
And there are spider webs that run alongside you. So a lot of it gets so thick at a certain point it is blocking out the light.
Yeah.
And you can see in the far corner up at the top, up in the exact corner, is like a little pouch of spider web.
Okay.
Little, like itty bitty bitty. It doesn't seem like much aside from the fact that it's very dense and packed.
Gotcha. Okay. He honestly just stares at it for a moment. It's just like, I really don't want to touch the webs. Oh.
If only you had a spoon.
Looks over, as if it matters, looks over his shoulder. I'm like, whoa. Nope, just the cheese still.
I'm bustle here. Why do you keep making me a bee here? You don't want me to a bee here. Let me go.
Why don't you go?
I'm a trying to go. The sugar is so powerful.
But two is going to.
This kid has never had a drug in his life.
The hallucination has sentience. It's like, please let me out of here.
She's like, please, I
Put
want
me
you
out
to
of my
go."
misery. I'm supposed to be a ballet person. I want to tap dance.
You read about me once in a book. Let me go.
2 is going to try to very carefully climb up because he doesn't have his grappling hook, doesn't have his bag, doesn't have anything else, and doesn't want to jump up there because that's going to cause more of a disturbance. So he's going to try to climb it.
I think you can climb it. I think the wall is scratched from spider legs going up and down it, and there's enough of a texture that you got little claw hands anyways.
Claw hands and claw feet.
And claw feet. So I don't think there's any reason why you wouldn't be able to climb up the wall.
Okay.
What I think you're going to have difficulty with is accessing this spider web, whatever you're trying to do, with no tools.
Yeah, I mean, not that the spoon would have helped anyway. Oh, he is going to examine it And this is such a bad idea. You're like, yes.
We love bad ideas. I love a terrible turn of events.
How small compared to 2?
Ooh, good question.
Because 2 is also small.
2 is also small. I would say if this were true to our scale, it would be like a small blanket covering the shape of a softball. Maybe this is a little bigger than a softball. I've never played softball.
That's about
Yeah, because they're bigger than baseballs. So
yeah, it's
like,
about softball,
yeah.
wiffle ball maybe.
yeah, like not large.
Okay.
Maybe 2 of them in there, but like, it's not. So it's not very large.
Okay.
Again, it's not the netting that holds your stuffed animals up on the wall.
This
So
is a
my
call-out post.
My sister has one, and I think it's so cute. It's like a little hammock for all the friends.
I have one of them too.
Yeah, I think they're great. This is not a call out. This is a jealousy.
Okay.
I don't have one.
This is a really fucked up idea, but I don't think 2 would have enough thought left. Could you try to bite it open?
Sure.
Sure, great.
Do it.
I don't know what that would be. What's a chomp?
What's a chomp is a good question.
We need Hack here to know what a chomp would be.
Physique. Will.
Let's do. Okay, I need to.
I'm keeping that roll.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay. I'm also gonna roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll as the web.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I think fight v fight because conceptually,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a spider web, so it's not really fighting, but I think that's the like opposition.
Yeah.
A 3
that is
for me
intended to
then.
withstand.
Yeah,
Roll poorly.
that's a 2 because this is that's 3. I don't think you can see it. Neutrals and a minus, and that's a plus 3 at fight, so that's a 2.
Feral gremlin child for the win!
Yeah.
I think that perhaps this is my opinion, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but perhaps this like altered mental state is just like reducing you down to pure goblin.
Probably, honestly,
Like,
at this
yeah,
point.
like what your core survival almost mech, but like even more feral than that, because I think 2's survival is different than like the feral.
yeah, for sure.
This is like everything's starting to be stripped away.
Fuck it,
Fuck it, ripping it. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's great.
You do it okay?
Yeah, it's just such a nice moment of growth, I feel, for 2. She's gonna come back and be like, you can't tell me anything! I've been through a spider web! Fuck you, fuck you!
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So you bite through the webbing, and there's what is that?
5?
Oh, yeah, sure. There's 5 spider eggs inside.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
smallish.
I'm just excited.
I'm just happy to be here.
She was like, okay, mission, like, great. And they only told him to take 1. They only wanted 1. So he's gonna grab 1.
Sure.
And at the lack of literally anything else, shoves it in his hood.
Ooh.
Like
Alright.
in his little feathers in his hood.
Yep. Tick, tuck, tuck, tuck away. Okay, cool.
And tries to just grab some of the web that like came off when he bit, because they did ask for the web as well.
Yeah.
Probably not much, but
I think that it's like when you rip like a piece of packing tape. Like you can rip it with your teeth, but then it's like
It's
sticky
still-
on your
yeah.
hand. So like it's gonna get folded in weird. But yeah, absolutely.
mean,
yeah, it's
Did not give what condition. Just said grab some, and he's like,
Yeah,
okay, I'll grab some. You know
absolutely.
what?
Absolutely. I'm just giving you the state that it's
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
You fold it up, tuck it on the other side. Great.
Great. Absolutely. Okay. So you climb down from the wall. You turn back around. You go back out the path. And in front of your spoon is a big giant spider.
Bree, this is a very serious question.
Yes.
How fuzzy is that spider?
Ooh, good question. I think it's difficult to tell because the Queenie is like right outside where the moonlight hits. So
Okay.
I think if you had to guess based off of like some of the light that's like hitting her legs as she like paws at the spoon, mid fuzzy, minky, like a stuffed animal that's not really like a fuzzy.
Yeah.
Soft would be soft to touch. A short-haired cat, perhaps. Not fuzzy. Not a long-haired cat. Chips versus fish, if we're looking for examples. I don't know if you've pet either of them. My cats.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I pet cats.
You need to pet my cats.
As
You're making Hannah nervous.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about those 4 other spider eggs. I don't know.
You think they're just gonna like burst like an alien?
No, I know.
No, that's a different game.
oh,
We're kind of hitting the edge of what I'm
Choose-
willing to do with bugs here. If a spider is a deer, I'm okay. If bugs are horses, I'm okay.
bugs are horses.
Bugs are horses, I'm okay. We're getting weirder than that. No.
I think 2 is just going to head away and down. Like, try to get to the exit at least.
How? There is one entrance that you came up through,
Yes.
and she's standing in front of
Oh,
it.
she's
'cause
standing right in front of it.
Well, because you threw the spoon opposite of the path, and the path splits.
Yeah.
So you would have thrown it
Oh.
down.
Nope, yep, I see
Yeah.
what you mean.
Maybe it's like not directly in front of it, but it's
No,
in your way.
yeah. There are many contemplations.
There are many
being made.
contemplations. I also want to remind you, and I feel like this has been getting lost a little bit. And this is not a call-out post of anybody
No,
because
it's
we're
fair.
having a great time.
It's fair.
You do have magic.
Yes, no, I know. I am fully aware of this.
There are 2 fairies that don't particularly have or use magic.
So there-
but the 2 that are
don't know
right
if you-
here.
Brittany, the problem is there are 2 different ways this could be taken, and I am trying to figure out which way it would be taken right now, and I'm leaning more towards probably the magic route, only because 2 cannot tell how fuzzy that spider is.
Yeah. Get closer, I guess. If that's your biggest concern, get closer.
Oh no. Okay. What 2 is going to do? What I'm going to do?
Yes.
What is going to happen? Is gonna look at it. Look at the exit.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna look at the windows. I don't know if I'm thinking what you're thinking. It's kind of sad. It's very You can't fly. What do you want from me?
Blind? I don't know.
Spiderweb kite, my god.
She was gonna glide. No, okay. And I would like to argue that this is deceive again.
Okay.
Before I even start, I would like to argue that this is deceive because she's going to try to make the shadow of a larger spider
Oh.
look like it's walking up the opposite face.
Oh, like on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are you hoping to achieve from this?
I am looking to get it to go over there and maybe like have full attention over there.
Okay.
like maybe get it away.
Yeah. I will allow the deceive,
Okay.
but I think you. I feel like we're still trying to create an advantage here.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm kind of like between both, because I think this is like almost a variation on the distracted advantage we have here. So you could just add to that
Distraction.
Yeah. So okay. So let's create an advantage here.
Okay.
And let's say that we'll create an advantage. We'll call it a different advantage because I think right now the distracted is the spoon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? No, here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm going to say that you successfully created the advantage of distracted by the spoon. And I think that's unfair for me to say that also is then causing you a hindrance. So I'm going to say I'll give you a free invoke on that to however you want to like manipulate that spoon distraction so that it becomes something that you can use to get around.
Okay.
I think it's unfair of me to create an advantage that you don't get to use and that like causes you a problem. So let's say that.
Okay.
So free invoke, you invoke the distraction, and you use magic to fling the spoon somewhere else. I think that's gonna make the most sense based off of like mechanically what we've put on the table right now.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm going to say.
All right.
That feel good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now if you want to spend a fate point, you've got so many. But I
technically only have 2 right now.
Okay, I will give it to you as a free invoke as the I messed up DM apology.
Okay.
DM apology. Librarian apology.
All right.
Here's my librarian apology. You get a free invoke.
Okay.
Again, not how this game is played. I don't care. Evil Hat can come find me. They're
What
not
if they
going
do?
to. If they do, I will give them a big smooch on the forehead. Okay. So, yes, absolutely. You reach out your magic.
Yeah.
Do you do anything different?
Oh, okay. I don't have anything on my brain right now.
We can
but
say no. That's fine.
He does mutter something. Though.
Yeah, just starts like talking and reaches out, and you create. I don't know. Let's classic D&D. Let's say a mage hand.
Let's say a
mage hand. But you create like a.
Wait, no, wheel cheese. It's been on it's the wheel cheese.
Yeah.
Picks it up and screams.
You like chuck this imaginary wheel of cheese and its spectral form in navy blue, and you chuck it at the spoon, and it like picks up the spoon and like waddles away. And I will say that just like scares Queenie. She just goes the other way. Like she doesn't follow the spoon, but it's just enough of a like distraction that she goes and she like she doesn't make those sounds. She goes up the wall. And you have a clear path now all the way down.
Got rid of that thing.
Thank you. Okay. So, all right. What do I have? I wish I had.
Moonbeam distracted.
Okay, we're gonna take
Queen of the Clock, encroaching darkness, and Candy crossfaded.
I wish I had a way to like see these reversed. What is this?
Attach tiny little mirrors to all of them.
I mean, I think if there was a mirror there, maybe, yeah. Okay. So we're gonna take stuff off of the tower. So you now have in your hood a weird. It's like a ball of packing tape now, completely useless, and a spider egg in your hood.
Yep.
And the spider egg feels like do you remember those like weird jelly sleeves with like fish in them?
I had
like
one
that
at one point, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Okay.
Like there's something scooshin', but it's not like it doesn't feel like it's gonna cause you a problem. It's just like a texture thing. Maybe
Great.
it's a cool texture thing. Who knows? You are crossfaded right now. And you scurry your way down, and you hear the gears again.
Okay.
So
Oh boy.
you hear the cacophony of gears, and at one point, like before you start moving, they all like synchronize for a half second, and then they like again, because they're all going at different speeds and different lengths and things
Yeah.
like that. So what are we doing? You got to get down, buddy.
Yeah, gotta get down. Oh. Going to drop down onto wherever he was, like probably standing at the edge, and trying to pick back up the rhythm from before. But also needing to go visit the gear where Rizzo was.
Sure. Yeah, I think if you want to get through the gears and stop at a specific one, you've got to hit a 5. It's the stopping at a specific one. If you're not stopping, hit a 3.
Two would at least try.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't even remember what this was. This athletics?
Yeah, I think this is athletic versus athletics.
Okay.
I actually hit 5.
Oh.
Okay. See, the dice also like Rizzo.
Well, unfortunately, when you arrive at the gear, Rizzo. Sorry, I heard the phrase Rizzo the Rizzler. Who said that? Not me. Rizzo is no longer there. There's a like ripped piece of tailcoat still stuck in the gear.
Okay.
But no tail, no Rizzo.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of bodily fluids. Not enough that you're like, wow, this man's dead. You're like, oh,
Something happened
something
here.
happened here.
Can I try to yank the piece free?
Yeah, you got a piece of cloth now.
Cool. Piece of cloth.
Piece of cloth from an old tailcoat suit jacket that was already like you could see the light through it.
Yeah.
Not good.
But gonna head down the rest of the way. Still trying to look forward because every time he looks down, everything starts spinning. Like, it's not just the gears. Literally everything. There's a gap there. Oh, the gap is spinning. Didn't know gaps could spin, but they're spinning. So he's looking straight forward. And keeping time and getting through the gears.
Yes, I will say that 2 gets through the gears
Great.
very
Great.
uneventfully. I think
Great.
not a fun experience.
No.
I think that 2, you maybe put off gears for a while. In my professional opinion.
Seize the gear. No, absolutely not.
I'm gonna throw up. And now you are back down to the hovels. Hovel, you're at the gear where there's a hovel. Like, did you just go back the way you came? Okay, so you see the line of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, the string that you can walk on the string
Yeah.
maze. I don't know. I was gonna say line of attack, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Rope bridge, you know?
Yeah, it's because it's,
Something, yeah.
with everything else. And it takes you, so it's at such a steep angle that if you were to, and you tell me what you do, but if you were to like walk down it, you would have to walk so quickly that you would slam your head into the door.
I don't think 2 would think about that. I think 2 is slamming his head into the door.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't think 2 is gonna be like, oh, that's steep. 2 is gonna look at it and be like, these ropes are still talking to me, and go down.
We can be your friend too.
Slam into the door, but honestly, probably just at least try to open the door, and if the door opens, he's gonna just keep walking through.
So just
Yeah.
for reference, so this is the hovel here, and the rope bridge comes down. So this is the hovel
Yeah.
door. You're not going through this person's house. You have to like go down.
Okay,
up.
gotcha.
But the reason that you know that this rope bridge works is because when you were standing at the open door, when you were inside of this guy's apartment, you could see up.
Okay.
So you're like running in and like slamming your head into some guy's door.
Doesn't matter. She keeps going down.
No one's home.
Inspection passed.
Thank Fick. Cool, yeah, absolutely. So you make your way back down, and now you find yourself in the area where Pine Staff is.
Yeah.
I think that enough time has passed, that the commotion has passed.
Okay.
And there are still some of Pine Staff there.
Great.
It's up to you what you want to do.
Cool. Just curious. Now that he's above, or like
Yeah.
ish, are there any spots where he could just jump down on the other side, like jump down through the floor or something? I don't know if it's a frozen gear or a platform or something. He could just hop down and then go down the ladder. If not, then that's fine.
I was picturing this being like a big open floor warehouse with a hole in the ground, and that's how people got in and out of the clock tower. So I'm finding it really hard to like think of alternate entrances and exits, but I feel like there must be. I mean, because if they're trying to guard this tower, are they only going in and out through that entrance?
Yeah.
Is there like a staff entrance that they're going in and out of? I was just thinking like this clock is butted up against the column, so it's like it's not like open air around the entire clock, only the front of it. The pendulum. The pendulum is behind this big area where all the staff is, and you can tell that this area that the staff exists in has been built more recently, and the pendulum and all the stuff behind it is more of the older stuff, and they have I don't know, let's say a clear binder divider that's like a wall between this new staff area and the pendulum, so that it's like you can see the pendulum, but it's not like they're like touching it all the time. So you're up kind of in the rafters, let's just say. And yeah, there's a pendulum that's like behind stuff. Like if this was a real life place, it'd be like, I know we can get back there. How do we get back? Do people go back there? That kind of thing.
Okay.
Like when you look at like a building that's old, that they've like built modern additions on top, you're like, surely they can get to the old part of this building somehow. So, and I will say, just to find your way around, you want to find your way back there. 5. Whatever skill you want to use for this.
I would say, with my argument, burglary, because you need to be able to actually sneak in to different places, especially places that are not supposed to be.
I'm going to say that's a stealth, unless you were doing a steal.
No, I'm not doing a steal. No, I'm going to steal the entire pendulum. I'm going to steal the pendulum. Okay, that is a big fat 2.
Okay.
2 tries.
Sure.
Looks around, tries to like, that thing almost that like different rodents and stuff do where they're at the edge of something, they try to push it, just like try to that, and it's not budging. So he's like, okay, well, great. And so don't want to go down. Let's go. Going to try to sneak back the way he came.
Okay.
Not a great idea.
Not a great idea. I think invisible is still on the table, yeah? No, we took that off.
Invisible
That's
down.
right. Yeah, okay. So then I'm going to say you're rolling against, where are they at? Pine Staff. Which, stealth v notice, I imagine. Yeah? They have no notice. So, I'll just roll.
Okay.
It's a 3.
Okay. So they have no notice, so I'm not adding anything to it. Even if I was using teamwork, you can only do teamwork if you have the skill. That's also a 3.
Ugh.
So, just as a reminder, a tie you can overcome at a minor cost. Well, it's not even a can. Like, you do
Yeah.
overcome at a minor cost, but we have to figure out what that minor cost is.
I'm gonna overcome at a minor cost, trying to think of what the cost would be, though. I don't have...
I mean, the minor cost could be that Penn sees you. She's not gonna stop you because she knows who you are.
Yeah.
But now she knows you've been in the clock tower. How do we feel about that?
That works.
Okay, great. Who?
Oh.
No, it's because I got up. All right, I'm gonna stop moving. Everybody else can roll for me.
Need to get
Tell
get you a...
Tell me how that sounds, and then if I need to repeat the last thing I said. I'm good? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
mic belt.
I truly think that's the issue. Okay, so Penn, who you recognize even in your altered state, with her torn off sleeves and her purple mohawk, sees you, watches you sneak into the middle of the floor, stop, look at her.
Yeah.
She doesn't do anything. You go down the ladder. She also notices your huge pupils.
Yeah.
Fucking huge. Like you're very you're very cross-faded pupils. Okay. So I think that's a minor cost.
Great.
So now Pine, aka Mahogany and Red, people who run this whole clock underground know you've been up in the tower.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever that information turns into, we'll find out later.
I'm sure it's
I'm sure it's fine. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I think you do need to make your way back to the Copperfangs. I think you do need to have a conversation with the Copperfangs. You need to present your things to the Copperfangs. It is 5:53.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna move to Tenerife here.
Okay.
And see kind of where Tenerife's at, what Tenerife's been doing.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to that
No, that's
next session, I think. Unless
Hey, Ten, what are you doing?
unless Tenerife does something that I have to pause on. But give me just a second. I'm gonna change some music here.
What are you doing?
I don't think this is quite
Sliding.
as I don't think this
How
is
are you doing?
quite as yeah, it doesn't need to be quite as tense.
Not a vibe.
So here's where we left Tenerife.
Mm-hmm.
The the fairy known as Cedar, who you guys, I think Tenerife, you found out his name.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Sorry, I'm trying to open my notes so that I can like actually say the things I want to say, and I don't. I wish I knew how to do this correctly because it's really irritating me the way I'm clicking on things. Anyways, we're just gonna do that. So the fairy known as Cedar had been just like whooshed back in and had started trying to enact his revenge.
Yes.
And by revenge, it is fucking you did this.
Right.
You deserve this to Broker. True, because to me, revenge is usually more thought out. This is just like retaliation, more so. I think revenge, should be
Meditated upon.
yes,
Sure.
correct. Otherwise, it's just reactionary.
Yeah.
But he said it was revenge because it was like, why not? That sounds dramatic and you
Maybe
know.
the door is open for revenge.
Right, exactly. And in their attempt to calm things down, Tenerife had volunteered to take Cedar to see Doc, the one and only healer
Yes.
in the Clock Underground. you had plopped Cedar on the back of Rose, the crickety
Trusty old Rose.
beetle who's not going very fast.
No, because then that would jostle him about and break more bones.
Great.
Probably better, honestly.
It's all, everybody's happy with this scenario. And so that's where we find ourselves. You find yourself sitting on the back of Rose, or are you sitting with or are you walking alongside?
Walking alongside.
Okay. So making sure
That would be presumptuous, yeah.
is,
Tense.
you know, I don't know how you were like making sure this guy doesn't die on you.
We just strapped him in a little bit.
Okay. Rope them in.
Yeah. Mhm.
So you find yourself walking alongside your trusty beetle Rose, who is holding this brown-skinned fairy with reddish-brown hair. His wings are from a honeybee, and a lot of his clothes, well ripped and kind of torn from being dragged asunder, is very like fuzzy in textures in a lot of places. A lot of like warm, fuzzy textures on this guy. Who also like definitely has like patchworks and things. Cedar's a bobbler, so bright, colorful, fuzzy, textured.
Yeah.
Beat to shit.
Not a natural born fighter.
No,
No.
absolutely not, and not somebody who is used to being flung by magic.
Yeah.
Halfway across the kingdom.
Yikes.
So this is where we find ourselves. You're on. It's a slow journey.
Yeah.
It's not an easy,
Not at all.
because you've got to keep
No.
Cedar from falling off. You've got to keep Rose moving.
Yeah.
You've got to walk alongside.
It is an arduous journey.
Yeah.
But a noble one. Yeah, so Tenerife is kind of making sure that Cedar is awake, doesn't fall asleep, just in case they are concussed or anything. So naturally, I feel like dialogue, conversation happens.
Yeah.
And I think it starts off as like so your name's Cedar, right? Yeah. We were never introduced. I'm Tenerife.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, sorry.
I should be more grateful. I'm very sorry. I'm not typically like this. It's been a long day. What day is it?
You have had a really long day. What are you typically like?
What?
You said you're not typically like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not typically fighting anybody.
But you fought for your friend?
I did not think it would go like that.
Do you think you're just going to show up and scare us a little bit?
I just wanted to stand up for my friend because I thought that was the right thing to do.
I think that's noble. I think that's good. I'm sorry that it happened the way it happened,
Yeah.
but... So, what's it like to be a bobbler? What is that like?
Oh, I mean, my expertise is less in the collection of baubles and more in I like to figure out ways to turn them into more useful things. Bobblers like to find the stuff and look at the stuff and not have it be anything. But I like to see the use in it, to see the function, to see how it can turn into something else. You get to look at the thing and see what it could be instead of what it is. See the potential in something. And then like he like does a little like
Spitting out blood?
a little bit.
Okay. Tenerife's gonna try to see if they have any water or anything. Can they like conjure a little water bubble or
Sure,
something? Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Ten's gonna whisper and like, and like get some water.
Is that military regulation magic?
This is circus magic, baby.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So it's like a nice little bubble with water.
Oh, I love that.
And but Tenda is gonna be
Yeah, this is very serious magic.
yeah, and then just kind of like send it over and like
Yeah.
Cedar.
Yeah.
Please.
Like a splash or like a drink?
like a little splash drink combo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Waterboard the man.
No! Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not very good at taking care of anything. I'm so sorry.
Refreshing. No, it's good.
Okay.
It's fine. That's great.
I think Ten's gonna be a little bit embarrassed that happened and just kind of like maybe walk silently for a little bit.
I mean, it's been a minute since you've done circus magic, I feel like.
Yeah. Oh.
Just like drops of water like drip off his face.
No.
He's not upset about it. It's just like if someone like water ballooned you in the face,
Right,
you'd
like-
be like,
You're thirsty?
take that. It's
Yeah.
like, you're like, fine. You're like,
Yeah.
okay. But like, oh, God.
That's a little overzealous.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So how long have you been a bobbler? Do you get to choose that kind of thing?
You don't know a lot of bobblers, do you?
I do not. I don't think I know one bobbler.
Oh.
Not personally.
I mean, you probably knew a bobbler. They just didn't tell you. Bobblers aren't loved in diction.
Why is that?
You really haven't met a bobbler, have you?
I have. I'm sure I've met some bobblers, but I think I would like to, I don't know, just hear your side of things. I might have preconceived notions
Sure.
as captain of the Kingsguard.
What?
I should not have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Just pretend you didn't hear that.
What?
Let's rewind, Cedar. And Tenerife is just gonna go like, again, it's one new person and you're doing this already? What's going on? I'm like, the inner monologue is so like, get it together. Get it together. And I think like maybe they're like feeling like really stressed out now that they've let that out.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go to the other side of Rose.
Yeah.
And then get a little bit of sugar from the packet. Just a teeny tiny bit. Yeah.
One granule.
One little granule. Just to be like, calm the fuck down. It's gonna be fine. But they're behind Rose, so
Yeah.
nobody can see.
Sure.
And then just, a little dab.
Yeah.
A little dab will do you. Okay. They like crack their neck.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to respond to that. And then Tenerife comes and walks back around. I don't know where to go from there, Cedar. But I feel like I can trust you. I don't know.
Oh. Nice considering what I tried to do to your friend.
Yes, and I don't know if I would really call him a friend, but you had understandable motivations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would appreciate it though if you didn't spread that around what I just said.
Sure. I assume if you're down wherever this is, because this is an honest man. I'm just like this is a citizen of Diction who is like, where the fuck am I?
We have an underground?
Yeah. What? I've never been here. Yeah, he's like, wherever this is, there's probably something going on. So I will keep your cover. What is your cover? What?
That's
Is Tenerife your cover?
oh man, Tenerife is conflicted. This is an out. This is an out to maybe cover their tracks. Oh crap! What are they gonna do?
And what he's asking specifically isn't the name Tenerife
Right,
your cover, right?
right.
Like not like Captains of the King Guard, because that doesn't make any sense. But like, is the name Tenerife your cover?
Yeah.
He's watching you decide. Like,
No.
oh, sorry, I don't have clearance for that. You can just call you dude.
No, you can call me Tenerife.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine.
Thank God, because I don't like the word dude.
Nor do I.
It's not a good word.
Agreed. Walking on a little bit more. Don't want to.
And so, like, it's silent.
Yeah.
It's awkward on your end, I imagine.
I think it is, but I think Cedar's fine.
Cedar's fine. Cedar is trying to like take stock and be like, now that things are settled, like what actually is anything broken? Is like,
Yeah.
where am I actually bleeding from? Like that kind of thing of like, what actually is happening now
Yeah.
that, he's not being dragged magically through the air. And you hear him say, did you walk in front? You're still walking to the side.
Walk to the side.
Okay. So you hear him say, kind of softly, like, well, people don't like bobblers because they think we interact with readers.
Whoa! And 10 stops Rose.
He walks like eye to eye.
Yeah. Interacts with readers.
That's what they think is what we do. That's why we kind of keep to ourselves.
So it's just hearsay.
They think this mainly because the baubles we get aren't useful.
Mm-hmm.
And they aren't things a lot culturally, in the past, citizens of Diction, finders would get things that had really had no contact with readers for a while. Something that had fallen to the floor and been there for some time, or things that had been forgotten in corners. And when Bobbler started finding things that didn't have a purpose and didn't have as much lost time as some other things, rumors started very quickly. Now, I don't know, maybe some bobblers do go and interact with readers, but I've never seen any of my fellow bobblers do that, and I've certainly never interacted with a reader, because I'd like to keep my wings, thank you very much. So, but it's easier to not try to convince somebody that of the opposite of what they believe to be true. It's just easier to not have to prove yourself every day.
That affects Tenerife. And yeah. So they take another minute, a beat to digest that. Kind of survey Cedar, like see if Cedar's like legit. Like, can they?
Cedar's beat to hell.
Yeah.
I think in that state, unless you're really hiding something, you would just be honest.
Pretty sincere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the same conclusion Tenerife comes to. And they say, I haven't said this yet, but I'm taking you to a doctor, a healer, to see what's going on and see if we can get you any help because of the part that I played in your current state. And as a sign of goodwill, it shouldn't have happened. We're not going to break anybody's knees, not really. So, do you have, are you settled? Like, do you have Tenerife is struggling to like find like how they want to go about asking this. Is this the life you envisioned for yourself? Do you ever want more or something else?
I don't know if I've ever considered another option. I have a lovely husband. I have a job I enjoy. I get to try to create something new. I don't know what else there is.
I don't know if you've noticed or seen anything lately, but things are changing. Diction doesn't seem steady. It doesn't seem right. Something's happening, and I think it would be useful to have someone who's trustworthy and kind and looks out for their friends and their well-being, keeping an eye on things, but in a quiet way. Something where a uniform would get in the way of.
Where? Because I like living in Hodgepodge. I like my life. And the changes in diction aren't going to happen in Hodgepodge. We aren't the most loved by the rest of the kingdom. Just keep to ourselves. We're close enough to Oratory City that they can keep an eye on us. That kind of thing.
You don't think it's fanciful to think that something can't touch you?
Oh, I think a lot of things can touch us, but I don't think that the changes, whatever changes are happening, will shift to Hodgepodge. Hodgepodge is stuck in a lot of ways because of the way some fairies see us. People don't want to venture outside of Hodgepodge. Bobblers come, they go out, they come back. They stay there. We circle amongst ourselves for a while. The thing about the marketplace is that you are exchanging the same bauble through 7 different fairies. And they like it like that. I would like to be able to bridge the gap between cities. That's why I'm trying to turn baubles into useful things. But it's just me, and I don't think that I'm going to get a lot of support, so it takes longer.
What kind of resources would you need? Would you take on apprentices for this type of bobbling?
Maybe. I think it's more of a cultural shift. The rest of the kingdom doesn't really buy things from bobblers every so often. And it'd be nice to have trade between cities. But again, bobblers like bobbling amongst themselves. I don't think you can convince a whole kingdom to take up the mantle of baubles.
Can I propose something to you? And I just want you to think it over.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing to kind of stay where you are, do what you're doing, but if certain, like, would you keep an ear to the ground for me?
I know what you're asking. Me, Brittany,
Uh-huh.
the librarian, knows what
Uh-huh,
you're asking.
uh-huh.
I think this is a role. I
Yeah?
think this is going to be,
Try
let's
to
just,
convince.
I think let's create an advantage.
Okay.
Because what you're trying to do is create an asset,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and then my personal opinion is this is a rapport.
Damn.
Try to convince me of
Tenerife out
something.
of practice. Okay.
Try to convince me of something else. You don't have to accept my first proposal for skill, but I need to be convinced that the skill is correct.
I mean,
Because I'm not taking it to see, apparently.
could you see an argument for just sheer will? Like, 10 needs this so bad. The king is in jeopardy, and things are, they don't know who to trust. I need somebody. And as much as, like, even though Tenerife respects Broker, grudgingly, I feel like that was a special circumstance.
Sure.
So it's like, how far can that respect, like, really go for the good of the king, for the good of the kingdom?
Yeah.
The good of the kingdom.
If you
Will, baby.
So here's the thing about the way I'm gonna do this.
'Kay.
Is it's just gonna be an opposed roll
Okay.
against the skills of Cedar, which are not a myriad of things, but I have on my notes. Typically, you're going to oppose a will with maybe provoke or will, like will v will or provoke, like depending
Right,
on the
right.
situation.
Yeah.
I would be okay with a will versus will, but I feel like that creates a different relationship than what I was picturing this conversation to go.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with
Yeah.
it. But if you're going to roll a will against Cedar's will, then I think then the interpretation would be he knows you're trying to manipulate him, right?
Oh,
So-
manipulate is such a...
If you're using will, it's manipulate. If you're
Okay.
using rapport, it's convince. So I think either one of those.
All right, okay.
It's
all right.
fine.
You, no.
You want to do rapport?
Yeah, that tastes better.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Because and rapport is still against his will, but I
Yeah.
think that like,
Don't have any rapport.
well,
All right.
listen, Cedar also has. Oh, he does have will.
All right.
I have a lot of rapport. I can't help you.
Let's go. Let's see what happens.
Okay,
Yes? All
yeah.
right. Here we go. Wait.
that's a
Oh, that's a plus one.
Okay,
Okay.
leave
it's a
that
plus
there.
one.
Can you roll for me? And just tell me what that number is.
Sure. It's a -1.
Okay, and
You
he has a
know?
1, so it's a 0.
Okay.
So what did you get?
Got a
plus
plus
one.
one.
Okay, cool. Then that's a success. So we will say that this is the advantage of,
Wee.
what do we want to call this? What do you want to call this advantage?
A man on the inside. No.
Well, not, I mean, it's not on the inside of anything.
You're right.
Cedar lives in hodgepodge.
Ear to the ground.
Okay, yeah.
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 Okay.
I am going to clip this on the librarian's screen. But at the end of this session, I'd like you to take this because I think I can be convinced that this is applicable across the board. But
Yeah,
then you have to keep an eye on because I don't want to overload my first
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
but you get one free invocation, and that's gonna last until Cedar's dead, I guess.
Yay, Cedar, don't die. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So I think like your seriousness, your honesty. I mean, you've been clear. You're not trying to manipulate Cedar. You're just genuinely trying to create an asset to you. With the background I know of Tenerife, this would be the first time you've been directly involved in like having communication with somebody, a civilian who's able to help you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're a military fae. You're so high up the chain
that
it just happens below you. Yeah. And so I think this is not Captain of the King's Guard asking.
No.
But there's in the back being like, well, I can use this as a resource of Captains of the King's Guard, right? Yeah. And I think Cedar's also in a state, but that state allows him to feel that like vulnerability and like truly think about it. Like he's been across the kingdom and back, and he doesn't want to be outside of Hodgepodge, and he misses his husband, and he was trying to defend his friend, and like, what does he really want?
Yeah.
And he wants everybody to be safe and cared for, and so I think the same reason that he fought for Sybil is the same reason he's saying yes to you. Yeah. Of like, this is not what I'm picturing the end result to be. I'm not picturing the end result to be, you know, I am going to now be scurrying in all the dark corners and finding these things for you. It's a noble pursuit that he can see himself at least contributing to, maybe disallowing the change in the kingdom, maybe like stopping it, or maybe it's, you know, like Cedar does not seem to have future vision. Like he does not, foresight is not his thing. He's just day to day, like, you know, again, normal ass fairy. Like this is not, this is a civilian.
He's kind of what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, however it kind of goes down, you see it across his face of like, maybe this is a solution to the problems I didn't know I was having. And, you know, gives you a confirmation nod. And then, you know, wipes his face and like more blood comes off of it. And he's like, ugh.
Better bubble this time. Gentle. I'm like, yay.
Like
not
a little
waterboarding.
Capri Sun pouch.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a refreshing drink of water.
Yes. No torture here.
So, yeah, and I mean, I think there's a little more ways to go before you get to dock. Any other questions that you wanted to ask Cedar before you make it to dock?
Yeah. What's one of the favorite things you've kind of transformed and made useful?
Now I have to think of something. I don't know any of that. I have so many notes, and I didn't have that thing down.
I'm sorry. Do you could I?
Yes, offer a suggestion. Cause
well, how could I trade for something that you've made?
Oh, so you're asking him like something he has or whatever. I think. I don't have my list of bobbly stuff. I'm trying to think of something interesting.
You did go through a couple walls, so it's fine if you can't think of something.
Like
right
I want
now.
him to pull something out of his pocket. I think maybe he pulls out of like a pocket, really mangled, like it's not anything anymore, but it was a paper clip that had been folded and bended and reworked into a like a carrier. Like I'm thinking like a sword frog, but not for swords because most common fae don't carry swords. So it's just something you could like stick, you know, your match in or your you know hook in or whatever, like just something for your belt basically. But what he presents you is a little smooshed. And he goes, it was better before I flew across the kingdom and back.
You know what?
Here.
I can see it. I can see the vision that you had for this. I'm sorry that it. I'm sorry that it was broken. Got broken.
Yeah.
Do you think you can fix it?
No, I think the structural integrity of that
It's
is
kind
gone.
Okay.
But the idea was you put it on your belt and you could like put things in it.
Nice.
Not a pouch, but like easily accessible.
Yeah.
So you could just carry the things you need to carry without having to dig into a pouch.
Do you think you could find more materials to do kind of like maybe 4 of these?
Down here. And he,
I mean, you don't. And it
he looks around and you're like walking down like a cobblestone corridor with like flickering
And it's
lights around
dark.
and it's dark and there's like
Yeah.
gears and steam escaping and he's like, I think people live here.
I think there are people who live here.
I don't think I could tear that off the wall.
No. That's fine. Maybe just really want you to think about it. Maybe in the future, if you could, in the near future, but not immediate. If that makes sense.
I mean, if you find me a pile of resources, I'm sure I could come up with something.
Okay.
It takes a minute. A lot of my time is spent just looking at things and trying to see the potential. But then a lot of it is spent building, putting stuff together, building materials. Finders take most of those because fairies use them
Yeah.
pretty often. So finding a building material without fighting a finder, that's rough. So there's a lot of, can this be used to attach this to this? Some mixed success.
Okay.
It's a full-time job.
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
Just you don't seem familiar with bobblers, so I wanted to
No,
give
no,
some insight.
that's fine. Ten's feeling a little twitchy again. It's like, no, it's fine. I don't need it. I don't need it.
I don't need
I don't need it. Okay. Well, do you want this back?
Oh, no, you can keep it.
Okay. I'm gonna put it in a bag on Rose.
Yeah, you
There
have
you go.
the beetle bag. That's right.
That's a girl. Okay. Do you think we have come upon?
Sure.
Yes.
If you'd like.
Yeah.
If you want to be done with the conversations.
No, I mean, I don't know.
I have things written. I have answers to your questions, but if you don't have questions to ask for the answers, then you don't get them.
Okay. Oh no. Oh, let me give you a heads up too. This doctor, the healer that we're going to,
Yeah.
the healing comes if you have a tasty memory, something that's significant to you. So I just wanted to give you a heads up to maybe start thinking about that as we get closer to Doc. Is their name?
Well, I don't have much of a choice, do I?
I don't think so. I'm sorry.
Well, can I ask, where are we?
We're in the clock underground.
Where is that?
It's in between. Breaking. Librarian. where was that again? Between Shun and.
It's, yeah, do we have the maps out here?
No.
I think they're in a
They're in-
box.
They're in the
Crap.
box.
So I'm trying to picture it in my mind because I don't know if I have access to it.
It's like Shun and.
It's between three. It's because it's like right at the intersection between Shun, Cirque, and Non, I think.
Yeah.
I actually know,
Non.
and Earn, I think you can get up to
Okay,
Earn, too, because
okay.
we had talked about the exit between Earn and Shun being watched, because those are the two
Yes,
sections with
Okay.
lockdowns. And then Non, there was a big, like, expanse that you
Yeah,
went across.
yeah.
And then Cirque is where you
Is
guys
where
are
we're
trying to
trying to
go.
go through, right.
Yeah.
I did remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of in the middle of four sections. That's a lot to come at you. But like, Earn, Cirque, Non. It's underground. It's kind of seedy. There's nothing to worry about. Everything's gonna be fine. We'll get you back to where you need to go.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of the way back. Without, I don't want to fly. I don't want to fly. To be honest, I don't want to fly. I normally fly some places. I've had enough. I got thrown from Hodgepodge to what I'm guessing is Aquarium in Medi, and then here. So I have flown over 3 full sections in the course of a day.
I don't mean to laugh. That is just so much for one ferry.
Yeah.
Did anybody see you when you were in perhaps Medi?
I landed on a pirate ship.
Did anybody see you?
The pirates.
You ran into pirates?
I did.
What were they like?
Mean.
I feel like you could write a book, Cedar.
I don't want to write a book. I want to go back home.
Okay.
God, I landed. I ran into the mast of the ship. Busted a wing. Was on this ship. They were real nasty because they don't like when people fall under their ships.
Naturally.
Naturally. And I was like, I don't know what the
Fick.
just happened.
Yeah.
And I had just convinced the whole that I was like not another pirate, and then I got flung again. It was several hours of convincing, wasted, to run into a fairy's shoe.
Again, I don't know how to express my sincerest apologies. Oh. Ten's gonna grab a fairy, the closest one, the first one they see, and be like, "Hi, we're looking for Doc the healer. Could you point us in that direction?"
Yeah, they like, I don't know. They give you a quick rundown of like take a left then a right, then 2 lefts then a right, and then you're gonna end up in oh gosh, I'm trying to think of something fun, like I don't know, a tiny little shop, like unassuming storefront.
Yeah.
That's Doc's place, like that kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah, so like they give you the rundown. Absolutely. I think you scare us so bad, like by the collar.
Please tell me. I need you to tell me right now where the healer Doc is.
Okay, left, right, left, and then there's a storefront with a flower in front.
What kind of flower?
A fake one.
Okay, thanks. And we're walking.
Yeah, and it's like when I say a bunch of turns, it's like really like
Okay.
tight corners kind of
Yeah.
deal. It's not. It's
Rose is having a great time lumbering.
and you hear
through.
like
Yeah.
as her like carapace crackles again.
Oh,
But it's great. It's fine. She's fine.
she's fine. She's fine,
She's
right?
fine.
Okay.
She's just slow
Yeah.
and creaky.
And creaky.
Like me.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. So you make your way to docks. I think your hustle silences Cedar. whatever clicked in your brain that Tenerife is like, we gotta fucking get there now. Cedar's like, holy shit, that is the captain of the King's Guard. And it's like, I'm gonna just shut my mouth. And also, ow, like, you know,
Ow.
me wings.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think if you have a busted wing, it's not gonna be fun. So
No. Yeah.
So you make it. Absolutely. And you make it to Doc. Doc is in the back. It's a flower shop that sells flowers that are made out of hole punch holes. Because they'd be big enough for a fairy. You know what I'm saying? Like paper flowers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Doc makes them. It's not really a front. And Doc just makes them.
Okay.
The
healing is
a little bit
the
of
side
A, a
hustle.
little bit of B, kind of a little bit of both. Doc
Yeah.
sends you with one when your healing is done. if you
Oh,
come
like
to
a lollipop.
to like
Yeah.
her storefront. Yeah. So you enter in and God, I'm trying to find. I want to read her description again. Yeah. Tall, tan skin, grasshopper wings that come out of a long leather jacket with a high collar. She has dark hair and small fangs. She typically wears an entire face mask with glowing eyes. She's just so cool.
Yeah.
I just like her.
It's like the fairy version of the Doctor
A
Mask.
little
I feel.
bit. I based some of the design off of the Repo Man from Repo the Genetic Opera.
I'll put that on to my list.
That one, we're not going to go down that road.
Okay.
But if you like camp, yes.
Zydrate comes in a little glass vial.
A little glass vial. Okay.
All right.
So you enter in.
Doc's like, I provide heal. Who heal? You heal. No, you good.
No,
you,
I'm fine.
You beautiful. Even shinier than when I left. 1 hour ago.
It's this. This is Cedar, and
Cedar, hello.
okay. Ten gets Cedar off of Rose.
Yeah.
And is kind of like holding
Yeah.
him up. Cedar needs healed. Cedar need heal. Please. Please take.
Give me best memory.
Okay. Cedar, it's all you, man. You gotta.
Can you roll me the crab? A crab, any crab.
6.
Okay. Oh.
Oh no.
I think that's good.
I don't know.
So, Doc goes,
What is memory?
and Cedar goes, I can't do these deep voices.
I know you get to do it like back
Back
to back.
and back.
One
Yeah.
time.
Hang on, give me a second. Cedar goes, well, maybe last year we, me and Teddy, we organized a dance party in Exit Square. And Doc goes,
Yes, very tasty. Gib.
and, you know, the same thing that you saw Doc do to the rest of your party was like same thing. It's uneventful as far as like any response to it, but you can kind of see wisps in the air of the little memory, like because Doc is in her office, like in her environment. There's more magic that's in the air, and you get to see, like, because none of your other party members, you saw their memories. Like, some of them didn't even say anything out loud. But you see and I don't know, maybe it's because everybody's a little more secretive and things like that. But, like, Cedar, again, is an honest citizen, a normal fairy
Yeah.
who does not belong here. And I just need to impress how average this fairy is.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why you're looking at me like this, because you would know if it was not. Doc, on the other hand.
Okay.
Doc is like, I am average fairy. And you're like, no. No,
There's
Doc.
no way.
No way. Maybe here, maybe amongst the riffraff, I suppose. But you watch the wisps of the memory kind of like float away. You catch like little bits and pieces, and it's Cedar dancing with Teddy, and the Bobblers are all playing musical instruments. Some of them are made from real tiny versions of musical instruments. Some of them are made from things that have been assembled to become musical instruments, and it's just a big flash mob essentially. So we're saying early 2010s to like 2015 pop music, but in
really
a
got
fairy
stuck there,
style.
didn't we?
Yeah, just like there's a choreographed sequence.
Cedar. No.
And then but you know, you see Cedar dancing with Teddy, you see Cedar dancing with Sybil, like it's friends and family. And that's the memory that Doc takes. She goes, tasty. And then you see he is mostly healed. But the way that Doc heals is everything leaves a scar. So I think any of the scrapes definitely are like scarred over now, instead of like just fully healing. Like
Is
there's a lot.
this a permanent scar, or is it just temporary? I don't know why I had to ask you in that way,
It's like, wow, that was.
but now I've got the urge to keep. I'm
Who
gonna
is
stop.
this? Who is this one?
So sorry.
No, I think because of the way Doc's healing magic is, because it is back alley healer, it's
Okay.
a permanent scar.
All right.
I think Cedar looks dashing. I
think so too.
I don't think any of the scars
Yeah.
are something that would be like, which, to be fair, in my personal opinion, I think all scars are dashing, but that's just my personal opinion. No, we have no limbs lost. We have no, like, his wing heals. It's got like a big, I don't know, like scar tissue
Yeah,
over it.
that's over it.
It's thicker. It's not as,
yeah.
translucent. Which I don't know if that's how wings work. I don't care. This is how it works for me.
Magic.
It's magic. They're fairies. They're humanoid with wings. We're already outside the realm of reality. And I'm sure there are some scars you can't see, because this poor fucker. But it's a lot of scrapes. Like nothing aside from the busted wing. Nothing is a broken bone or a like huge gash. A lot of that was from just like impact.
Okay.
So scrapes, bruises, probably internal bleeding is probably why he was spitting up blood. He's fine. He's not spitting up blood anymore.
Yay.
And so Cedar now is there, and like not
Almost whole.
not kind of
person.
like
Yeah.
is like
In pain.
boy.
10 clamps Cedar on the shoulder. I think you've earned a flower. Right, Doc?
I'll give flower. Overly flower. This is special over. I'm losing my mind. It's that time of day. I must take nap. Nap time. Here go. Goodbye. Get out.
Okay, bye. Come on, Cedar. How are you feeling? Are you feeling better?
Oh God, yeah, a lot better. That was a lot.
Did
wow.
it hurt? What?
To
when it was
heal?
happening? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, it's accelerated healing from someone who is not a kingdom healer, so I'll take it.
Okay.
Did you want to go or what?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, that's not what I meant, but yeah, let's go.
What?
You just seem really interested in the healing. Like, did you have something you needed healed that you were like holding back from Doc? I mean, like, I'm not great at it, but I'm good at, like, putting things. I can, like, do a mean tourniquet, I assume. I read. Did you not read, like, cool on how to, like...
No, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it sounds... you know what? Not my call. I just... You seemed really interested in how that healing went. I'm good. We're good. Like,
Okay.
we can move on.
I'm just curious.
About me?
No, about the process. Well, and you. I feel like now yes, sure. Now I'm curious about you.
Have
yeah.
you never had... I mean, like, that... I assume you've had a kingdom healing before, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, it's pretty... You get, like, little prickles.
Sure.
It's like the prickles, but bigger.
Yeah.
Like, just more intense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I was having it broken and then broken again. Like, it's just like... This is not interesting. Yeah, it's not...
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a word man. I'm a making man.
Okay.
Do you have something to say?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we should you're probably wanting to get home now, or
Yeah, that'd be nice.
okay. Let's Tenerife is like, I'm gonna give Cedar my beetle. What the heck? Should I? Should this is crazy? I feel like Tenerife feels so bad for Cedar. And they're like, man, he has like a life and we took him from it. He just wants to do good. He just wants to do good.
Yeah.
And so Ten's like, yeah. What am I don't know.
What's I mean,
This is too rash.
this is your call, because if you're looking to me to compel an aspect for you, I got nothing.
Okay. No, I don't know if I was looking for a compel.
Sometimes that helps, I'm sure, but like,
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, if this is a decision that Tenerife is making to further along the ear to the ground, maybe. If this is, you don't want to have this NPC around,
No.
like, you know, I'm down for anything, but I do want you to feel like you're not.
Yeah.
Because this sounds like the same conversation we had when you considered chopping off your hair.
Oh no, it happens. Like, it's the thoughts that come in, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, stop.
Play
Stop.
a chaos. Can't play a chaos.
I don't think.
you
I
know?
think Tenerife has these thoughts all the time, but suppresses them, and that's how they
Yeah.
became captain of the Kingsguard. We went from circus phase
Yeah,
to captains of the
very
Kings. Something
impressive.
Oh,
had to
yeah.
get cut off
But
in the
they try to-
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then that's the question.
Yeah.
Like, the thought crosses your mind.
It does. It does. And I think they're gonna think better of it and be like, no. What if you need that? What if you need Rose the Beater? And so instead, they're going to pivot and say, do you mind if we try to find a place for you to find those holsters to make, essentially, and we could get you the materials.
Sure. I mean, I don't imagine we're gonna find them here. Just doesn't strike me as like a place with a bobbler market. But we can look around for a little bit.
Okay.
I assume you know this area.
I sure do. Tenerife is lying.
Okay. So you start to wander around, kind of aimlessly around.
Yeah.
Doc's storefront is in a bunch of other storefronts, so like you kind of found like a little shopping district.
Yeah.
The thing that the Clock Underground tends to kind of trade with each other is a lot of gear-based things. There are a lot of tourist trap shops of kind of like what Rizzo was doing, but like on a smaller scale of being like, this hook will help you get up the clock tower, where it's like very clearly you're going to get stopped by the Pine staff before you even get that far, but now you have a hook, may or may not get you up there, like that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of like those kind of stops. There's a cute little bakery that sells pastries in the shape of a clock or a clock tower, like that kind of stuff. It's very like a very kitschy area you found yourself in. It's not the whole clock underground, but like you found yourself kind of in like a touristy area. And you turn the corner and you hear kind of like rabble, like not a bunch of happy people, like really not, I wouldn't say angry so much as just loud at the moment. Like you
like kind of like excited voices that are
just loud and like, you know, tense a little bit, not so much angry, until you get closer and you can kind of like feel like the energy's not great. And it's darker the further in we get. Like you've been wandering around and it's been starting to get dimmer and dimmer, but like it is pretty dark in this area. And you see a small ferry. Let me see if I can find their description so that I'm correctly describing them, because I put so much work into these guys. Who has bronze like coloring, like kind of a color palette. He's got shaggy hair, the biggest bags you've seen under a fairy's eyes, and goggles on the top of his forehead, and also wings behind him. And he's standing on top of an overturned crate, like frantically pointing and trying to create magic at a lot of like the lights in the area. And you can see him like put a puff of magic and it lights up the light bulb, and then he goes to the next one and puts a puff of magic and lights up the light bulb, and that one goes out. And so it's like he's like really he's super really trying, and every time he does, like it just doesn't stay. And there's like a group of fairies that are yelling at him around the area.
How can he work in these conditions?
He can't work in these conditions. And sometimes some of them get a little bit close, and he manages to like get them to not like pull him off the box by like his magic is like a little bit of like an electric shock. You can see the little mini lightning bolt go from his hand to like them, and it doesn't fry anybody. It's just like a ouch, you know, like that kind of deal. And sometimes he just doesn't have, you can see he doesn't have the magic. He pulls a tool out of his tool belt and throws it at them to ward them off. And you hear Cedar beside you going, uh-oh. And that's where I'm going to like pause here. Because it is 6:53. And if you get engaged with this mob, that's another hour. So that's where I'm going to leave us here. And I appreciate the patience on both sides of the table here where we kind of jump back and forth. And this is where we find ourselves now. And I appreciate everybody for watching. So thank you for watching this episode of Health Hits Experience. If we don't reach an apocalypse again, we'll be back next week. If we do reach an apocalypse again, I've got something in the back pocket to potentially put up. So we'll see how that rocks and rolls. But I would like to be in this clock underground at least one more week, if not a couple. So thank you for watching. Music, sound effects provided by Sirenscape and Abby Kovic. Thank you to Molly Cook, Brian Bowersox, and Abby McCauley in the control room. Special thanks to Community Access Media for the use of their facilities and equipment. And thanks to you for watching. We will see you in the next one. Goodbye!